Oh, what a glorious summer this should be. We've got the Euros, we've got Copa America taking place at the same time. We've got the Olympics coming up. This should be the epitome of international football, basically the best thing we could find that isn't a World Cup. And yet, with all of these glorious tournaments taking place, the on-field product has been a little dull, underwhelming, and there's a couple reasons for that, but the main one is the players are tired. We're going to talk about that next here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub. If it feels like football never ended when the regular seasons came to a close, well, it's because they kind of didn't. We jumped right into the Euros, right into Copa America, and it's been great as a fan, but it's not great for the players and their bodies, and I'm going to argue that it is not great for the on-field product. So we're going to talk about that today, but before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to the channel so you can follow this and all the topics that we post. Get down in that comment section. Let me know what you think. What effect do you think the endless season has on the players and the quality of the product that you're watching? You can also leave comments on Twitter at Pitchside Pub, and of course check out the website pitchsidepub.com. So the season never really ends. The Premier League seasons, the Bundesliga season, La Liga, all these leagues only ended, a month or so ago. The Champions League goes until the end of May, early June, and then you've got these international tournaments that start. And no, all these competitions don't affect every single player, but when we're talking about the elite of the elite, they play non-stop. There is no rest for these players and their legs, their physical stamina, their conditioning. There's no break. And I think we are seeing that really affect what we're watching on the pitch. The Euros are exciting, right? And there will be drama. There's always drama because of the nature of the structure of the tournaments, right? So you've got close games and you've got, a point separating teams in the tables or advancing on yellow cards and things like that. So naturally there's going to be drama and that makes it fun to watch. But if you really look at the technical quality of the ball being played, it's really not that good. And we have a lot of these teams that are playing below their standard, and you have many more that are playing underwhelming ball and are disappointing than you have that are truly exceeding the expectations. Between the two tournaments, the only international teams that I would say are really punching way above their weight are in Europe, Germany, and Austria. They're the only ones that have really gone out and put forth impressive, truly impressive performances. You could argue Spain, they ran the table in their group, but there really haven't been a lot of really dominant performances. On the other hand, there have been some really disappointing ones. England has been lackluster and dull. France made it through their group without scoring a goal from open play, with Kylian Mbappe on the pitch for 2/3 of the games at least, and all of their amazing talent that they have on that team. The Netherlands have been disappointing. Belgium has been a little disappointing. Portugal, they ran roughshod over Ireland, but they should have. They haven't really gone out and dominated the way you would expect. Over in the Copa America tournament, the United States, one game in, sort of walked through it. They looked a little tired. Argentina, yes, they have 2 wins so far, but they barely squeaked out in their last game and got a late goal, but they looked like they were playing to a 0-0 draw. Brazil played to a 0-0 draw. They looked like they couldn't get anything going. And to me, all these players look tired. Now, there are some technical reasons why this is happening as well, and I think the world has really figured out how to stop these heavy possession-based teams if you are not as talented. And if you are willing to give up the possibility of really scoring and just pack this box and play really technically sound defense and mind your positions and really execute your game plan, these super heavy possession-based teams like the United States, like England, they struggle. They dominate possession, but they struggle to generate good looks and chances. And the world has figured that out. We saw that with Manchester City down the stretch. They really struggled to generate offense against teams that were willing to pack the box. And this is not new. This has always been the tactic. Sam Allardyce has made a whole career out of it. Sean Dyche has made a whole career out of playing this style. But it seems like it's really, the pendulum always swings in terms of tactics, and it's coming back in vogue as more and more of these teams are playing it out from the back and playing this heavy possession, pass it side to side, work it back to work it forward style of play. these other teams are just sitting there and saying, come at me, Brazil. We're going to pack the box. And we're not going to let you get a good shot off. It almost worked last night against Argentina, and they squeaked out a win. It almost worked against the United States, but they were just eminently more talented than their opponent, Bolivia. But it really is creating some lackluster offensive performances. But I would argue that the other biggest culprit is the stamina. And these players are tired. They look tired. A guy like Jude Bellingham does not just turn into a bad footballer, right? And that's what he's been for 3 games. He's not been good. And part of that is tactical and playing out of position and all these things, and Gareth Southgate putting forth an uninspired tactical plan for his team. But Jude Bellingham is good enough to overcome that. Phil Foden is good enough to overcome that. Harry Kane is good enough to overcome that. They look tired. These guys all look tired. Cristiano Ronaldo is 38 years old. Lionel Messi's 37. They've got to be tired. Even the young guys. Julian Alvarez for Argentina has played in so many games lately with the World Cup run and the Club World Cup and 4 competitions for Man City, and it's a good thing he's not a guaranteed starter, or else his legs would be falling off, and he's probably going to go play in the Olympics. I mean, the schedule is just so congested, and I don't expect it to get better. I don't expect the quality to get better as they play more and more games, and if these players are going to play in the Olympics butt right up against the start of the next season. In fact, I believe it even overlaps a little bit with the La Liga season if a team was to make it to the finals of the Olympics. And so there is no break for these players, and we are on the verge of seeing them absolutely break down. Injuries are becoming more of a problem. How many clubs last year were absolutely decimated by injuries and made the excuse, well, if our guys had been healthy, we would have had a better season? Well, that was half the Premier League. That was half the teams in Europe said that. At some point, it can't be an excuse anymore. We're going to do a video on that as well. But it's happening. It's more prevalent than ever that these injuries are happening, and it's because the schedule fixture is more congested than ever. And I'm not breaking new ground here. This is obviously something that's been discussed ad nauseum at every level, and yet we just keep adding more and more games. And so I really have been disappointed with the quality of play in both tournaments so far this year, and I don't see that getting fixed. Teams are going to have to start rotating. Coaches are going to have to start rotating. Gareth Southgate, you've got the deepest roster in the Euros. Start rotating players because your guys are exhausted. France, you have the other deepest roster. Start rotating guys. You were forced to with Kylian Mbappe being out for a game, but you've got to rotate these guys in. The deeper teams should have a massive advantage. Germany has a deep squad, and they like to run, so they should be able to run some guys out of the building in the round of 16 and possibly 8. But they're going to have to rotate because these players just look gassed, absolutely gassed, and it's extra bad in Copa America because they're playing in a heat wave in the United States. We got referees passing out. We got players absolutely wiped. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. So I don't have a solution here. I'm just commenting on what I see. I think the tactics are getting more of the blame, and the tactics for some of these clubs, England, I'm looking at you. America, I'm looking at you. The tactics have not been great, but I don't think it's as simple as that. I think these players are absolutely freaking exhausted, and they're running out of gas, and we've still got a lot of tournaments to go, and then there's no break as we get into next season. I think the injuries next year are going to be even worse, and we've got a real epidemic on our hands in terms of world football and how it is approached, and something needs to be done because there's been a lot of talk about the lack of quality and who should win the Ballon d'Or, and just give it to Messi again because why not? Because nobody else is stepping up to take that mantle from Messi and Ronaldo. And while that's true, I would argue that our best players can't make it to a full season in good form because they're so freaking tired. And that's what happened with Jude Bellingham, who got off to a rocket start and looked like he was going to win the award in last May, and can't finish a season, right? It looked like he was going to win the award at the start of the La Liga season, and now he's running on fumes. And so I think that plays a role in the lack of quality too. So something has to be done. I'm not proposing a solution here. I'm just saying, as much as we want to blame the tactics, I think the schedule fixture congestion is more to blame than anything. But I'd love to get your comments. Get down in that comment section. Let me know what you think. Where do you come in on the schedule congestion and all the fixtures and all the games that are being played? Let me know what you think down in that comment section. You can also leave some comments on Twitter at PitchsidePub. While you're at it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow the channel for all of our videos, and of course check out the website, pitchsidepub.com. Thanks as always for joining us here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub.